water because you like,
I,
oh,
rec-
there we go.
I recorded, whatever.
You're like, I can't help
I can't
it.
help it. It's too good.
And if it helps you drink your water, then use them. The only thing is that some of them do come with a higher amount of sodium. So if you do feel like bloated or you're starting to feel like a little bit off in terms of like relation to that, then I would skip it and just use it like randomly.
I find, at least for electrolytes for myself, I don't really enjoy drinking water, but when I put electrolytes in it, I enjoy water.
Right.
So it makes it actually taste like something. So for those of you who maybe have not gotten it, the LMNT, that brand, I absolutely love it. I have it, I make it a part of my morning. So, I wake up obviously at 5:30. I have my coffee, I get ready for my workout, I make my water, I put my electrolytes in it. And by the time I'm done dropping my kids off at school, my goal is to be done with the water. So it's just, if you can just put something like that into your day, it can go a long way. And I see the difference. So I love it.
Totally.
But this is my next question. The top 3 foods you recommend to eat everything. I don't know. That's what they put, but I think what they mean is your top 3 foods.
God,
Right.
that's so hard. My top 3 foods. Okay. Well, since everybody's different and it's like, in terms of proteins here, one of my top 3 foods is shrimp because again, it's like a very low calorie, high protein food that you can get away with eating a lot of. And I just personally love it. But back to our conversation before, whether it's tofu, whether it's egg whites, whether it's chicken breast, you want like a favorite lean type of protein that you can always lean on. No pun intended. Turkey, like lean turkey breast, things like that. I love, and I'm not plugging this product because I work with the brand, but I'm going to just because I love it so much. I love this brand called Royo Bread, Royo. If anyone hasn't heard of it, it's a high fiber,
Allison
low
loves it too. Allison loves it too.
Team Royo.
Yeah.
And they have amazing products. You cannot have it if you're gluten free because there is gluten in it. And sometimes if you're not used to the amount of fiber, because it is very high in fiber from flaxseed, from psyllium husk, it has all real forms of fiber in it. All real ingredients. The company is like a small family owned Israeli company. A registered dietitian is one of the owners, and it's just amazing. And they have bagels, they have bread, they have challah rolls that like taste like little like ciabatta thing. I mean, it's unbelievable. So like, I honestly, since that brand, like can't live without it. And
Honey, are you listening? Order.
Nat, you've tried Royo, have you not?
Honey, it's in our freezer, of course. Like,
I'm like, I know that.
honey,
Like
honey,
skincare. I'm like, honey, I need this. She's like,
who
"It's in
did
the
you
cup."
marry, honey? Come on.
And then this is super broad, but plants are our best friend no matter what plants you like. Don't overthink it, and especially the leafy greens, whether they're like a salad based leafy green, whether it's string beans, broccoli, like just all the things green. We always want greens.
Rachel, do you have a code for Royo? Because I want to put in the comment.
You,
You
I
do.
do.
They
Oh
said
my
tell
God.
us if
What
people
is
are
it?
ordering it.
Taylor, are you here? I'm totally blanking.
Colin, Taylor? Colin, somebody.
I put the link in the group chat on the side, and if you click that link, then the RSN 10 discount code applies automatically.
Oh, okay, great. I thought that was like, I didn't realize.
How did I just forget that code? That was
Yeah, RSN 10, but it should be applied automatically if you use the link that I sent.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Great. Okay, we're set. We're set on the Royo.
set on the Royo.
Set on the
Okay.
Royo.
What's the next question?
Okay, let me see. I think that I asked my question. So
There's
this
a
is
few
actually
really
the fun
good
part.
questions in the chat, honey.
Yeah, there are. I saw some about, okay, how would you modify the meal plan for menopausal women, if at all?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
These are real whole foods. These are things that are going to balance your hormone. I mean, listen, I'm not going through menopause yet, so I tread lightly when I talk to this point, but I have worked with many women in menopause, and it's very similar to the question like, how do I eat when I'm pregnant? How do I eat when I'm trying to get pregnant? Da, 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 da. And we all have like these different stages. What we want in every stage is to get these whole real foods, protein, plants, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, a little bit of a treat here and there. And that is going to be your formula to live like your lifestyle forever, literally.
Yeah. And, I also just want to point out, and this is just something I want to add because Natalie's been so on it in terms of, basically she's so into nutrition and learning. And I would say that another point that we should point out is that eating locally and also, knowing where your meats, your fishes, your proteins are coming from. Like you can't just go out and buy something that's like completely full of hormones and artificial shit just because it says salmon on it or just because it says, some sort of meat. So, I know Natalie's watching a documentary right now that she's really into. If you want to share, honey, you can put it on the group chat, but it talks a lot about, where you get your stuff and really going locally for it. I know it's hard with us in bigger cities, but if you do have a local butcher, if you do have, something like that can go a very long way. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but you did say something that I honestly forgot this question, and it probably is the biggest question I got for you. What is your go-to treats when you do want to eat something sweet and you want to stay on track?
Okay, so if you guys go to the end of your meal plan, you're going to see a page that says RSN BID, built-in dessert. And this is a little shtick that I came up with for myself years ago when I looked at foods as good versus bad. So like, no, I couldn't have ice cream. I could only have frozen yogurt, or I had to eat like the fakey cookie that was like bloating the fuck out of me, or like all these I always thought that like artificial was the way to go. Low calorie, low was the way to go. And then I realized I was like, wait, when I eat these higher quality ingredients, whether it's real ice cream or whether it's just a healthier version of a treat, or even if it's a freaking just like mini donut from Krispy Kreme, or if it's like a cookie from Starbucks and I eat half of it and it's 150 calories and I eat the next half the next night, I'm like, this is how how I taught myself to eat anything that I wanted to in moderation. And it does take time. So I came up with this thing called BID, built-in dessert, which is a little something of literally whatever you want. It's something to look forward to. It could be something sweet. It could be something savory. It doesn't have to be like a sweet. Sometimes I like to go like a little more like chippy route or popcorn or salty or whatever it is. And I put it in this box in terms of calories. So for you guys, working with a big group, it's hard because you're all at different parts of your journey. You all look different, you all weigh different, are different weights. So a good like safe space to be in is anywhere from like 80 calories, which is obviously like just a little bit of something, to potentially like 200 calories, which depending on what it is, and you portion it out. And this way you teach yourself how to have a little dose. It's like almost like a little dose of something every single day, as like, whether you look at it as a reward, just something to look forward to, and also to learn how to get control if you struggle with self-control or struggle with, portions and things like that. And, it doesn't work for everyone. I'm going to be honest. It does take time to build up to it, but once you do, it's such a freeing thing, because you can have whatever you want as long as it's like in this little allotment, and it's really freeing. So if you go to that sheet, I have a huge list of my favorite brand recs, and all of these are like the healthier versions of things. Like, Justin's is a healthier version of a Reese's peanut butter cup, and Unreal is healthier version of like peanut M&Ms, and like all these brands are made with higher quality ingredients. I always say good, better, best, like to Rachel's point. Like we don't, our foods are so, besides the whole ones, like especially the processed ones, they're so overly processed. These are obviously still processed foods, but they're just healthier versions of some other ones, real dark chocolate versus, all of like the fillers and the, the food colorings and things like that. So just try to like dose yourself with them. And even if you need to, you can like put them in little bags and label them like Sunday through Saturday, things like that. There's like all these little tricks that you can do, but it's really important to give yourself these little treats and allow yourself to have them, because then what happens then when we restrict? Then it backfires. Then we eat all of them, right? So it's like, you take a Munchkin donut, there's only 70 calories in a Munchkin donut. Have a freaking Munchkin donut every night as like your little fix. Like, why not? 70 calories. There you go. It's filled with oil. It's filled with sugar, but like, it's just when the rest of your day looks so complete and so beautiful and so whole, we have this room for these other little things.
Yeah. Okay, well that's so good. And and one of the things that I want you to know, Rachel, too, about this community is that like half the people on here, if not probably 80%, I know personally, and it's because of these Zooms. So, or because in real life, like Monica, but like, I've met so many amazing, wonderful women through this, and it's because of these Zooms. So I want to open it up like Glenna. What's up, Glenna? Alicia, I see Jane, I see Jackie, I see Leanne. But if anybody has a question for Rachel, now would be the time to ask. Oh, I got a hand up. We got Julie. Julie's got her hand up. She knows how to use Zoom so good. She got the emoji up. I didn't even know there was an emoji for that. But yeah, if you guys know how to work the emoji, go ahead and put your hand up. But Julie, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so my question is, if I wanted to protein powder, is protein powder really a great protein? Or I know that Natalie had mentioned maybe adding in more collagen, which has protein, but is that going to be too much collagen then? Or is there no such thing as too much collagen?
Someone asked that. Was that you, Julie? Because someone asked me, can you take too much collagen? Yeah, I want, yeah.
Okay, so that's an amazing question. So first of all, protein powder is a great source of protein. Again, you want to try to source the best type of brand that you can get. So for example, you want to get, if you're going the whey protein route, you want to try to get the grass-fed type. You want to get, to Rachel's point before, you want to get the ones that isn't having hormones and isn't having, all these added things to them. There are amazing plant-based proteins out there as well. I mean, all the brands are, we're so lucky, I know, in the bigger cities, but I just think that all the brands are jumping on board because they know what people want and they're making them more readily available. Now, the difference between protein and collagen is that collagen doesn't have all the 9 essential amino acids. So it's not a complete protein. So it acts differently way in the body as this other type of protein does. So while collagen does have protein in it, you want to use collagen more for hair, skin, nails, that type of thing. It also can help with your gut and digestion and things like that. And then you can also use your protein on top. So these things can go hand in hand together. And honestly, I don't think there's a thing as too much collagen.
Okay, good to know.
It'll be really expensive collagen pee.
You could probably just mix it. Like you could just mix it all together, Rach. Like that'd be fine. Like put a scoop of protein powder, put a scoop of collagen.
Exactly. And you're getting all the benefits. And it's great because these are great ways to get in things that we may not normally get in, or if you're like on the go, or if you just love a freaking smoothie, or if you want it for a snack or post or pre-workout, these are all things that are really, really helpful. But again, you just want to source the best possible brands as possible.
Got it. Okay, great. Does we have any other, I'm happy to learn that. Do we have any other questions? Like anyone else want to ask something? Okay, we got Jane Rubin. I see Jane. She's outdoors. It looks beautiful in Canada. Jane, I'm unmuting you, or I'm asking to unmute, but go for it. You know how to unmute, right?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hi. Is there such a thing as too much salad?
Too much salad?
Yeah, in one portion, like.
Okay. Well, like, do you mean like the base of the salad or just like in general?
Like if you're making a salad for lunch and it's huge, is that too much?
Only too much if you walk away from the salad and you're like, oh my God, I'm so freaking full right now. Because
right.
You're eating the healthiest diet in the world, the healthiest, you could still be overeating, even if it's very healthy food. Now, it's very hard to overeat things, to the point where it would be like weight gain or something.
Yeah.
But yes, you want to make sure that no matter what you're eating, even if it's a super healthy meal, that you're not walking away feeling stuffed or full. You want to feel nice and satisfied. Now, if you are someone that struggles with, not Jane, just anybody, struggles with IBS or any type of like gut imbalance, and you're feeling that you're struggling with salads, they're either making you bloated or making you constipated or just making you uncomfortable, that's when it could be, salad can be an issue for you because of maybe like some of the raw greens in there, they're a little hard for you to digest, or some of the other raw types of veggies and things like that. And then there's ways to modify accordingly. But yeah, there could be too much of something too good. Just make sure and that's another key thing that I want all of you doing is continuing to check in with yourself. You know, huge part of this process, you know, whether you're in fat loss or whether you're in maintenance, is just to learn your body up and down and what feels good. And it might be a little bit different every day, you know, to the point we were talking to the point we were talking about before, in terms of like on a day where you're working out, you bet your ass you're going to be a little bit hungrier or a lot hungrier the day that you're taking a rest day. So it's really cool to tune in, and your body, it works like a clock, you know, it's not, that's why the eating schedule is so great, because you're going to be able to forecast like, oh, it's that 4-hour mark. I better not go past that 4-hour mark. I know that like hangry Rachel's coming out. Like I know that myself. So it's good. And that's a great question, because you're so right. You can even overeat healthy.
Okay.
You know,
thank you.
Yeah, Jane, great question. You know, I just want to speak to also just speaking to success. I think that one of the things that is, you know, one of the things Rachel's preaching, which is also something that I want to preach with fitness, is having a schedule. And a lot of times, maybe you are traveling. Listen, summer's over. I know we all took a vacation. Maybe you're like me. It was too long. You were like, I'm out of my routine. I need to get home, right? But everybody should be slowly getting back into their routines. One of the things I would suggest everyone to do if you want to be the most successful in your whole life is to, like what Rachel's saying, have a schedule with your eating, whether it's something, right? I love the schedule with working out. It sets the tone for my day. If you guys can all just kind of challenge yourself to do this workout at around the same time in your day, every day, so that it becomes a habit, becomes something that is in your day at that time every single day of the week or weekend or whenever you do it. So I would just challenge you all to just pay attention to the patterns in your day, because if you want to be the most successful, I personally think keeping a schedule is the way to go. But we have a question from Joanne. Joanne is one of my good friends, Rach, that I have also met through the platform. We've hung out in Canada. We're good friends, but Joanne, take it away.
Thanks, Rachel. And hi, Rachel and everybody. So I have a comment and then I have a question. So the comment, I wanted to say, you made a comment earlier about comparing sort of apples to apples. And I put it in my chat, in the chat too, something interesting. I like to count my calories. I use it in MyFitnessPal. I don't use it every day, but I do. And I realized tonight that like a 6-ounce portion of like swordfish is almost double the calories of like a 6-ounce piece of chicken breast, or even shrimp. You talked about shrimp. So it's very interesting how you don't realize that until you start kind of paying attention to it, because I wouldn't have thought. And if it wasn't for that Fitness Pal, I wouldn't have known. So I like how you said that. So, but my question, aside from that, my question is, how do you feel about grains, specifically like grains for dinner, or is there a certain time of the day where you recommend, you know, you have grains or you don't have grains? Just curious what you think.
I am a grain girl. I love my grains, specifically rice. I think it's very important to, if you love them, to incorporate them in terms of your complex carbs. So what, like I was talking about before, we want to build our plate accordingly, where sometimes you can take out 1 or 2 of the components, but most of the time you want to make sure that you have these things on your plate so that you have a full satisfying meal, right? We all know what it's like to have like been on a diet and only eat like the protein and veggies and not get the carb, and you know you walk away missing something. So it's important to have it, but you want to be conscious of how much you're having. So I love grains, but I definitely would recommend, just as it's Joanne, right? Joanne?
Yeah.
Joanne had said, and I love that she just said that point, and these are like eye-opening things, to just be like, okay, I know that a half a cup of rice is, you know, 150 to 200 calories depending, or 3/4 of a cup or whatever. And just make sure these are the things that you do want to measure out, again, whether you're counting or not, because I mean, at least for me, I can easily take down 2 cups of rice, you know, 500 calories and, you know, X amount of carbs later on top of whatever else I'm eating, because it's so easy. So it's good to like just throw it in a measuring cup. It takes 2 seconds. And this way you have like a proper portion. Again, it's going to be different for everybody. And it also depends what else you ate that day, but it's good to just get in the habit of like, of not making it be like, oh, this is obsessive, or I'm measuring this. No, just throw it in the freaking cup. It takes 2 seconds. Be like, okay, that's like a proper portion, so I'm not going to overeat this. But I don't have a certain time. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, only eat it at night, only in the morning. I personally love to eat my more complex carbohydrate at night, like my sweet potato, my grains, things like that. But if you want them during lunch because you enjoy that, you love like a nice like rice tossed salad, or you like more of a bigger meal during the middle of the day, go for it. But like rice, for example, I mean, you could eat it 2 times a day if you wanted to, but I would definitely make sure that you're measuring out around that half a cup to full cup range, again, depending. But that's why I also love to utilize these other types of things like this high fiber bread I was talking about, or even like a delicious sourdough. Like one thin piece of delicious sourdough that you get from the bakery is probably going to cost you around like 120 calories, maybe like 20 some odd carbs. And you just get that like extra density. You know, you can make an open face sandwich if you have a smaller, you know, whatever. And it just really rounds out the meal where you feel like you're not constantly restricted. You don't have to.
Okay, well, Rach, we have another question, but I want to ask one from the comment box. So this is Beth. Beth happens to be one of my best friends.
Hi, Beth.
Yeah, she says, how do you feel about probiotics? And she started taking seed and mushroom coffee. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so any type of supplements are supplements. We want to make sure that they're supplements and not replacements. Supplements are great. I'm a huge fan of probiotics because back to, again, what Rachel was talking about before with like the food that we're getting, you know, unless we're getting things from a farmer's market, it's like these are veggies. We don't even know how many nutrients we're getting, right? They're sitting on trucks. They're being picked like weeks in advance. Then they sit on the shelves and all these things are like depleted. And we want to make sure that like we're feeding our gut with these good gut bacteria because as most of us probably know at this point, like I mean, I don't want to say all, obviously I'm not a doctor or a scientist or whatever, but we can tell that all these major diseases that are going on in our world today most of them are stemming from the gut. And this comes from an overgrowth of negative bacteria and things like this, leaky gut syndrome, things that are coming in. You know, our gut lining is the only barrier between us, our guts, and our immune system and the outside world. So it's really, really important that we keep them strong. We keep everything. There's no like permeability in there. And probiotics can help with this. Now, the issue with probiotics is that you may not never know if they're working. You know what I mean? Just like any supplement. It's like sometimes you think it is, sometimes you don't. You know, people swear by the hair growth. So like that could be something because you can physically see it. When it comes to the gut, it can be tricky. Seed is one of the very Instagrammable probiotics, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen, like your favorite influencers promoting whatever. I've heard different things about it. I've never personally taken seed. But I think if you find a probiotic that you like, definitely take it because it can't hurt. From my knowledge, obviously check with your doctor, disclaimer. The mushroom coffees, I think if you're using that to replace regular coffee, because if you're dependent on caffeine or you don't mesh well with caffeine, I've heard that there's tremendous amounts of benefits coming from all these different types of mushrooms. I know that, what's that brand? Four Sigmatic is a huge one, right? And now there's like tons of them. So again, I think if you like something and it makes you feel good, like Nat talks about this a lot on her Instagram. I love when she talks about this. She just talks about the things that she loves to help her set up, make her feel good, whether she knows if they're working. Nat, like you have like your lion's mane in your coffee and, you know, our tahini goddess, like inulin that we like so much. It's these things that like make you feel good. Just to like throw in there. You know, but again,
Allie, we're going to get to Allie, but Rach, sorry to cut you off, but this was also a question that I sent you that I think is going back to this. And then Allie, you're next. Frozen food. Someone asked me this. They go to Costco, they buy a big thing of frozen chicken. Is that is that legit? Someone's asking about frozen zucchini slices. Are they great alternative to banana in your protein smoothie? So that one's more specific, but to speak to, how do you feel about frozen stuff?
Okay, so frozen veggies get a bad rap, and it's actually really funny because they are actually the freshest because they're frozen at their peak of freshness. Again, back to like these fresh veggies that we get from like Whole Foods or whatever. We don't know how fresh they are. They could be like literally a month and a half old before like we're getting to them or whatever the timeline would be. So frozen is actually amazing because it's frozen at that peak of freshness and then you're just making it right from there. Are they going to be as delicious? Probably not. I like fresh veggies just because of the way that they cook out, but I love them. They're easy. You can make them in 2 seconds and they're cheaper. Win-win overall. So use your frozen veggies. In terms of subbing out subbing in zucchini for banana, that in terms of taste is not going to be a full, what's the word I'm looking for? That's not going to be like an easy translation because like the banana has like the sweetness and whatever, and the zucchini, you're just getting more fiber. So you can definitely just throw it in, because zucchini is one of those great veggies that basically tastes like nothing. That's something that like I always hide in my kids' sauce and things like that, because it's super easy and has no flavor. So yeah, so the frozen veggies, go for it. And then in terms of chicken, are we talking like just regular chicken breast that's frozen, or are we talking like chicken tenders?
I
Do
think
we
they're
know?
talking about chicken breast, like a bag of chicken that's just frozen. Is that the same as, you know?
Yes, it's all the same. You just want to make sure that when you're buying your frozen proteins, that you take it out beforehand when you want to plan for your meal, just so like you don't get to dinner and you're like, oh fuck, now I have to defrost this thing for the next like 8 hours. You know, so, and that all comes with planning, thinking ahead, mapping out your week. It's very helpful if you're not used to cooking your own food, or if you don't really know what the schedule, like take out a calendar and write it down. Like make it like a little, you know, a little assignment for yourself. You can do it by the day, you can do it by the week. And just like Rach was saying earlier, like it's important. This isn't just for right now. Like you guys we all want these things long term. And that's going to come along with discipline over motivation, like Rachel was talking about before, and also building it into your day so that it ultimately becomes a habit. And ultimately over time, it's never not going to feel like work. It always is. And that's just the reality of it, but it won't feel as looming.
Yeah. All right, Allie, you are up, Allie.
Let's go, Allie.
She's got the hand. She knows the emoji. Just unmute yourself. Do you know? I'm asking to unmute, but
There it is. Did that work?
yeah.
Yep.
Ah, nice. Sorry, I have a 3-year-old that's just come down the stairs now. Someone asked in the chat about wine and alcohol in general, and I've been with Rachel for a year, and it's been a struggle over the journey because I'm a nightcap girl. Couple of nights, right? And then the weekend is additional. So from the perspective of the nutrition and maybe gut health, and also from the perspective of exercise, what should we know? I mean, I guess sabotaging is what I've learned the most, but what can you tell us?
So booze, listen, I love my booze. I love my cocktails. I love my wine. But booze has calories. Booze can lead to more eating down the line. Booze can lead to disruption of sleep, as we all know, because even if you think if you're like you're passed out or whatever and it feels good, if you track your sleep, you probably see that you're not getting like the full REM sleep when there's alcohol in your system. So listen, it's gonna be your choice or anybody's choice. What I would say is that if you are gonna choose that, then like that is your after dinner treat. And I would really, really try to stick to the hard rule of like a 4-ounce glass of wine, which depending on the brand is going to cost you like, 120 calories, give or take, something like that. If you can, you want to go clean crafted wine, which doesn't come with the excess sugars. It doesn't come with the added chemicals, the pesticides, the things like that. There's a wine company that I work with called Scout and Cellar, which is a clean crafted wine. Tay, if you're still here and you could throw that.
She's putting up stuff. By the way, Taylor also put up Rachel's favorite probiotics. So if you guys haven't checked out the chat, there's already a few links up for probiotic, Royo bread. I'm sure Taylor's about to put up the wine.
I'm working on getting
Rachel,
wine
what you
link
could do
now.
is send me all of these codes, and in my next email, I can send it out to everyone so that
Awesome.
if they missed it, they'll have it.
But yeah, I mean, alcohol is the hard one. It is. And it is for me too. Like if I could drink a bottle of wine to the head every single night, I probably would, but I don't. So you just want to be careful of it. But Allie, if you feel that you're getting your eating together and you're able to scale back on this, then over time, if you still feel like you're not seeing the progress that you probably should be seeing, that's when you want to cut back even more. Like maybe you could treat yourself to 2 or 3 glasses a week instead of 5, and then, a couple of glasses on the weekend. I always like to say, when I think 6 drinks a week, which might sound like a lot for some people, but for people that drink a lot, like myself, doesn't sound like that much depending, is a good, 4 to 6 is a good range.
Good. I love that.
If you got on a Saturday night, when you're having 2 or 3 martinis, whatever.
I love it.
2
Good.
to 4 would be better, but let's be honest here.
Okay. I'm into it. But yeah, Allie, just keep going. I'm telling you, when it comes to these workouts and progress, it's really about consistency. You have to just consistently stick with it. It's even on the days when you don't feel like it, you don't want to do it, whatever it is. And if you pair it up with eating right, I personally think there's no way that you're not going to get somewhere, because the eating right mixed with the sweating. I've also upped our movement. I'm making everyone during this challenge pay attention to their steps for a reason, because you could work out 30 minutes a day and then sit down the rest of the day. And guess what? It's kind of counteracts it. Like, you can't just work out for 30 minutes and then be sedentary. Like, you can't just sit down the rest of the day. So, you know, I want everybody to pay attention to everything so that it can all come together. But do we have, oh yeah, the wine link is up, guys. The wine link is up. Do we have any other questions? I'm going to try to wrap this by 8, because I know everyone has kids or, you know, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a friend, a roommate, somebody want to hang out, maybe, I don't know, but you know, I want to wrap this up by 8, or you just want to get to your night. But does anyone have any more questions for Rachel? Because she is, honestly, Rach, you have really blessed us all with your time tonight. You can really tell that you know what you're talking about. I love your delivery. I love how real you are. Is there any hands up? Even if you don't know how to use the emoji hand, you could put a hand up and ask a question.
I'm going to say one more while people are thinking about anything, if they are, to what Rachel was just saying, is like, that is something else that's very, very important to think about. You want to think about this as a whole, right? And not just like, I just lost my thought. You know, when you have a thought and then it literally goes out.
I think I know where you were going with it, that it's all got to all come together. It's not just eating. It's
like,
not just.
Yes, we all want to be fit. We want to be toned. We want to be happy, whatever. But it's like, we need to look at these, like to the point about the steps. It's like, yes, it's about the burning more calories, and yes, about the getting more movement, but it's like, as we get older, increasing our lean muscle mass, keeping our bone density intact, making sure that we don't just want to like live to live, right? We want to live, we want to be fit, we want to be healthy, we want to fucking thrive. So it's like all of these pieces of the puzzle that have to be together. And like, yeah, it's hard. It's freaking hard, but like, there's nothing in life worth fighting for that isn't going to be a difficult road to get there, right? So like, we want to be a little bit of a hard asses on ourselves. We want to give ourselves some grace, but like, also just be like, you know what? Like, it's going to be uncomfortable for a short period of time, but it's short-term discomfort for long-term gains. So it's like, we really want to look. Has everybody read Atomic Habits in here? It's an amazing book if you haven't read it.
What is it called? What is it called?
Habits. I'm re-listening to it right now. It's by James Clear. It's just an amazing book about habit stacking and why we do certain things and why we don't do certain things. And it's just unbelievable. So while you're doing your steps for Rachel, download that on Audible and listen to it.
Okay. And then also, I have a question that someone asked and they want to make sure. Jamie wants to know, do you recommend multivitamins?
I think, again, that's like more of a, I don't know if that's kind of like out of my scope to answer. It can't hurt. Why not?
Yeah.
But if you're getting all these, if your diet is beautiful and you're hitting all of the nails on the head on the nails on the head, it's like you will wrap that up and like your vitamin, yeah, it could just be an extra boost. But I would get stuff down first. You can't out supplement your way out of a poor diet, just like you can't work yourself out of a work out your way out of a poor diet.
I agree. And Beth just wants everyone to know that tequila is the lowest calorie.
Right.
You know, just throwing that out there, guys. Beth, you should have a link. You should have a code, Beth, for a tequila brand at this point. But anyway, does anyone have any other? Oh wait, Steph had one. I saw Steph. What's the best tasting protein powder for vegans? I mean, Natalie did order one that is amazing. Truvani.
That's what I was just going to say. And I love the founder.
It feels good. Like when you hold the bag, like it feels clean.
The founder of Truvani, or the creator of it, her name is Bonnie, I forget her last name, the food babe. If you guys don't follow her on Instagram, she's unbelievable. She's an unbelievable story how she became this huge food advocate. Like it's just, she's done incredible work and she created this brand. So anything she creates from that company, you can trust.
Great.
Sure.
Great. Maybe I'm going to contact her and see if we can get that up on the site. But But yeah, so guys, you guys all, does anyone have any more questions? Glenna, Kara's on here. I see Kara, even though it's her picture. Jackie, Taylor, thank you for being here tonight. You helped so much. Desi, what's up, Desi? Amy, I see everybody. I just want to let you guys know we see you. Irene, everyone. Jamie, you're holding it down. Jamie, I see you there too, girl. I see you. You're smiling now. She waving. But thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. I hope that you guys can now take a look at the meal plan was actually shared on the group chat. There's also, it's on the Better Together page. So all you have to do is click it and you'll see it. And any questions you guys have, just, and yes, Taylor's going to send me all the links. So on the next email blast for the Better Together challenge, you guys will also see those links. So if you missed them or you want to go back and you want to see it, it's there. All right. But thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Good luck. You guys are going to kill it.
And Rach, you're amazing. Thank you.
You're
And if
amazing.
you guys
Thank
are
you,
not
guys.
following Rachel Schwartz yet on Instagram, you need to follow her because it's a trip, man. It's a trip. Like she's taking me all around. I mean, you will crack up and also eat right. So,
With an extra A, Rachael.
yes, exactly. I at you all the time. So you guys will see it on my stories. You can always click it and just follow her straight from there.
I'm really good about my DMs, you guys. So if you have any questions, just slide on in there.
Oh yeah, thank you. And Ari wants to say good night.
Great.
Ari, say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow for arms.
Thanks,
Morning.
everyone.
Bye,
Good
Rach. Bye,
night.
Monica. Bye, everyone. If you want to
Bye, Rach.
unmute
Bye,
and say
Monica.
bye, go ahead, guys. Thank you for
Bye,
everything.
Julie. Good to see
Bye-bye.
you.
Monica, I'll
Julie was
see you.
so
I'm
nice.
calling you
Yes.
this week. I need a facial.
Yes. Bye.
All right, bye, guys.
Mommy.
See mommy?
Mm.
Yeah.